guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a super simple video on my favorite Morphe brushes. So they are my Morphe must-haves. They're one of the first good brush companies that I ever started using. I would say the only two that I used before I knew about Morphe was Eco Tools and Real Techniques because they were readily available in my local Ulta. So that's kind of where I started, and then Morphe was my first good higher end. I mean, they're not higher end when it comes to pricing, but the product itself is so good. They're one of the first better companies that I started using once I started venturing away from the crappy little brushes that come in the actual palettes and stuff themselves. So I'm just gonna start with the big face brushes and then move into the smaller eye brushes, and that'll be that. So let's get this started. So first I'm going to start with foundation style brush. The one I have is the Morphe M439. It's a really densely packed domed brush, and it's good for pushing foundation into the skin. It's very rare that you'll see me use a foundation brush for my skin instead of a beauty blender or any type of beauty sponge. But this one is really good. It's puts on a lot of product, doesn't soak up a lot of product. It's a little hard to clean because of how dense the brushes are packed. But if you clean it with a Sigma, one of those beauty mats, or any type of a brush cleanser spray, I've got this one pretty clean. You don't see a whole lot of nastiness in there. So that is the one that I would use for foundation. So then for powder, to set the face, I like to use the Morphe E1, which is a really big, fluffy, this is one of the softest brushes I've ever felt. It's so soft. But it's a nice big brush to push setting powder onto the face. You could swirl it if you want. I'm personally not a fan of swirling because it's, I feel like I'm removing product from my face. So I'm more of kind of a pat kind of girl. So this one, the E1, the bomb. Another brush that I use for different types of facial powders is the E3. So this is going to be a nice tapered, soft guy, very fluffy. Again, the Elite collection has some of the softest brush hairs I've ever felt. So this one you can use for blush. You could maybe contour with it. I've never tried it, but I usually use it for face powder, and I push it up underneath the eyes. Sometimes I'll use it for blush if I don't have my favorite blush brush on hand. So again, the E3, super good option again for powders. For contour, you already know because I use the same one in almost every single video. It is the E4, and it's a nice tapered, super soft brush again from the Elite collection, and it's just got the nice curved shape. Fits right into the hollows of your cheekbones. You can buff with it. You can do any contour really with it. I use it for my nose as well because I'm not doing a snatch nose contour. But I just am able to get enough onto the sides of the bridge of my nose to kind of slim it down and straighten it a little bit. And then this nice pointed edge is good for getting right underneath the lip if you want to contour under there to make your bottom lip look a little bit bigger. And then also right under the nose. You could also use this shape of brush for blush as well, but I don't find that works really well for me, but it does work for a lot of people. So the one that I actually do use for blush is the Morphe M527, and it's just a really nice big fluffy white brush. It's got more of a coarse hair than the Elite collection brushes, but it's super soft right on the tip of the brush, and it's really good just for buffing in a nice powder blush. I haven't used it with a cream blush because I don't use a whole lot of cream products on my face, just because I feel like they slide around a lot on me, and I can get oily. My skin is kind of finicky. It's oily one minute and dry the next, so this one I prefer to use powders, and this one works super well for that. Another brush option for contour that some people like to use would be a brush like the Morphe M459 and the G30. They're kind of the same brush, just two different collections. I personally don't use them for contour, but I use them to carve out my contour. So either one will do just fine. They're the same thing, just different collections like I said. They have both kind of the same shape. The Gunmetal one is a little bit fatter, but either one will work. You just take it in some translucent setting powder, and then you go down these sides of your contour to carve it out, and then you brush it off with a fluffier brush. So these are really good for carving. You could also use, this smaller one would be a better choice, the 459. You could use these to contour your nose and bake around your nose. And this one especially is really good for baking down the center of your nose if you're somebody who wears like glasses, or you just have like a lot of texture and pores and stuff on your nose, and you want to bake it to kind of take those things away. This thing is perfect for like just putting that center line down the middle of your nose to bake with. The 459 is definitely a great one for that. For different creams and setting underneath the eyes, I like to use the E20, which is a small little domed guy. This is a super dense brush, but the bristles are very soft, and I'll put it into a brightening powder, and then I will just take it to pack under the eyes. Again, you could use this to contour along the nose, put some bake on. I also use this with my Benefit Watts Up, the cream highlighter. I'll swirl this onto it, and then I'll just dot it onto my cheeks and blend it in, and then I'll usually go over that with a powder just to make it a little more blinding. So this one is a really good one for packing on some setting powder and cream highlights. And then the last one I have for the face is the 501. Mine's a little fatter, I think, than when you actually get them, because I've washed it so many times that it's starting to, I think, lose its shape a little bit. I've had it for years, but it's perfect for the powder highlight. Just dip it in there, and then it goes so nice along the cheeks. I can use it, I take usually like just the tip of it to do my nose and my cupid's bow. So this one is super, super good for highlighting, and I've seen a lot of other YouTubers use it, so must be right. So now that we have the face brushes done, I'm going to go in with the eye brushes for my Morphe must-haves. And I'm going to start with one that I use for like a multitude of things. It's the E13 from the Elite Collection, and it's a nice, really dense, domed brush. And I like to use this to put setting powders on, and I also have used it to put a base on my eyelids, so like a paint pot from MAC, or if you're using any type of like eyelid primer. And I do use concealer a lot as a primer because I have it, so why not? Like, I'm not going to waste my money on eyelid primers when I have concealer sitting right next to me. So this one is really good for buffing that out on the eyes and then putting setting powder on, any type of like translucent powder or a flesh colored eyeshadow. So that is the E13. Next, I have one that you've seen probably in almost all of my videos. It's the Morphe M511, and it's a long, almost tapered brush. It's not super tapered, but it's got a little bit taper to it. And like I said, some of these brushes I've washed a lot. And I wash my brushes like probably about every week at least. And then I give them like a really deep clean, probably about like once a month or so. So this one is really good for putting setting powder on the eyes, again, like the last brush, or what I use it for most of the time is starting to lay down transition colors. It gets right into my crease area, and then it just fluffs out enough to kind of like blow that eyeshadow out and smoke it out enough so it's not a harsh line. I usually follow that one up with the M441, which is kind of the small brother to the 511, and this one again fits perfectly right into my crease and helps to blow out and smoke out any of the shadows that I put in there. So I usually go the M511 and then the 441 together to put eyeshadows on because they work really well in unison. The next two brushes I kind of switch between because they're kind of the same shape. So I have the M503 and the M505. So this one is the 505. This one is the 505, and this one is the 503. So 503 is just a little bit smaller than the 505, and they just fit really, really like perfectly for doing tighter, more precision work in the crease. Not like cut crease kind of work, but if you're trying to lay down like a dark color in the outer V and then pull it into the crease, these two brushes, the 505 and 503, are really, really good for that. So I think if I had to have just one, I would have the M503 because it is a little bit smaller. The next brush that I have is the M433, which I like to use again for precision crease blending and outer V as well. It's a little bit more pointed when it gets towards the end of the brush, and it's smaller, so I can really get in there and just work in whatever color I'm using and not worry about blowing it out too far, muddying up any of the crease and transition colors I've already got laid down. So yeah, the M433 was pretty much one of my first brushes from Morphe, and now I have probably 4 of them laying around my beauty room. So it's definitely a good investment, and to have a couple on hand is never a bad thing. So the brush that I use for the lid the most is the M124. As you can see, like the name and almost the number is all rubbed off. I've used this one so much. I use this one to pack colors onto the lid. I usually wet this brush because most of the time when I'm going in on the lid, it is with some sort of a shimmery color that needs to be wet to look even better. So this one is great for packing onto the eyelids. Moving on to the lower lash line, my first brush I have is the M432, which is a small definer brush. Fits really nice right up underneath the eyelashes to lay down a dark color. And then I pair it with the next brush, which is the E18, and it's a small little domed kind of pencil brush. And once I layer or like pack on the dark color with the M432 that I just showed you, the flat definer, I will take this brush with a lighter color on it and start to smoke out the lower lash line. They work really, really well in unison, so if you need brushes just for the lower lash line, I recommend getting the 432 and the E18. They work really, really well together. Great set of brushes. And then for inner corner highlight, I will go in with the E18, so I'm kind of repeating this one twice. But it is multifunctional, multifaceted kind of brush, so it's good for the lower lash line, and it's good for packing some nice highlight on the inner corner, and you could also use it to do a highlight on the brow bone if you wanted to do so. And then if you wanted a precision highlight down on the Cupid's bow or like the tip of the nose, this would be a great brush as well. So I recommend having more than one if you're going to use it for more than one thing. Like highlight, you're going to want one just for that, and then you would want one for smoking out the lower lash line so that you don't have to sit and constantly clean it. So you can have one that's got kind of the darker colors that you'd use on your lower lash, and then one that has the lighter highlighting colors on it. So any of these brushes, I think it's good, more so the eye brushes, to have multiples of them because Morphe is so affordable and such good quality, and I think they just make it so easy to have good quality makeup application products. I've heard good things about their sponges too, so maybe I can get one of those in the near future and give that a try. I've seen the red one is a hit with different people, so maybe I can get one of those and try that out for you. But these are definitely my favorite must-haves that any collection would be great with, and it's a great collection itself. I think you could do pretty much a whole face with a lot of these. You would just be missing like a lip brush and I think a brow brush, and that would be it, depending on what you're putting your brows on with if you need a brush. But you could build definitely a whole collection, and I'll list all the prices and everything down below and kind of price out what a whole collection would be. But I mean, you don't need all the eye brushes that I showed you. Some of them, they kind of do the same thing, just in a slightly different way. So you could definitely get by, I think, with, I want to say like $100, $150 max. You could get like a full face worth of brushes and know that they're super good quality. So I hope you guys liked this video. I just wanted to share the brushes that work the best for me, my Morphe must-haves. I'm sure it will start changing as I start trying more of their brushes and getting different sets and things like that, but these are the ones that I feel are really good for anybody starting or anybody who is a professional, really anyone who's interested in makeup. I think they're great quality and great price. So I will keep you guys updated on new brushes and sponges and stuff that I get from Morphe and other companies. I do have a few other companies that I use for brushes. But yeah, if you guys like this video, please let me know down below in the comments. Leave a thumbs up. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, and yeah, that's about it. This was a nice quick one. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye!